Ciao ragazzi, my name is Anthony. This is Bruno. He's awesome. He's happy. We're happy because the Azzurri are in the final of Euro 2020. It's an amazing feeling. It's a nerve-wracking feeling. Today's video is 100%, well, not really, it's 99% now, I guess, dedicated to Inter. But Bruno, first of all, how are you? And are you looking forward to Monday morning, 5 a.m., my friend?
Look, I'm fantastic, but I'm anxious. The anxiety's peaking. How are you now, Biggie? Good to have you.
The OGs are here straight away. Within seconds, the OGs are coming in.
He's straight in there. But yeah, no, look, it's fantastic to have it's fantastic to make the final finally. You know, after the disappointment of 2010 World Cup and then 2012 final getting belted. Not even making 2018 World Cup. You know, Ventura as the manager. We finally get Mancini in there. And you know what? Former Inter manager, doing an amazing job. But now the nerves are... It was exciting when we beat Spain, but now it's like, oh, shit. We've still got one more game to wrap this up. This isn't going to be easy.
It's not, bro. But like, you know, I've coached teams at school before, and I always give them the same talk at the start of the season. I expect you to make the final, but I don't expect you to win the final. You can never expect to win the final. I'd love the feeling, and I'll say this before and I'll say it again. I'm ready to be heartbroken. I'm ready to be upset, but I will not be angry, no matter what way, shape, or form on Monday morning. I will not be angry. So, and that's the least that you can ask. This team has already done us so proud. I'm looking forward to them, you know, giving us even more pride on Monday morning, no matter what the result.
Oh, look, and I called it once as soon as Euro got pushed back. I called this the perfect dress rehearsal for the World Cup. You know, Mancini breaking all sorts of records with this team, and you got to think we've got Moise Kean at home, Zaniolo, Sensi if he ever gets fit. You know, so this team still has another level to go on to. So if we could do this at Euros, imagine what we could be potentially capable of at World Cup if we qualify. But today's about Inter, mate.
It is about Inter. It's about Inter, and I know it's an unproductive time to stream, but, you know, it's convenient for us here in Australia. So if you're one of the 8 people that are in the chat and watching the video right now, make sure you drop a like and let us know where you are. We went through the regulars. King Darian, another regular, is here. Please stop that biased British commentary. Bro, it happens yesterday, today, next week. It's going to keep happening no matter what. So we might as well just keep getting used to it every single tournament. Matt says comparisons of Italy to Inter can be made. I've been making them all tournament, bro. It's been dark for Italy since 2006 and had been dark for Inter since 2010. Bruno, before we move into some shit, Italy and Inter, the camaraderie, the unity, it's been a good season, bro. When you look back on it, there's been a lot of anxiety on the way, but you know that moment where you sit back at the end of the season and watch the review of the season and you're like, what went wrong? So far, I'm feeling that way with the La Squadra for La Nazionale and for Inter. There are the comparisons to be made, as Matt Pickham says.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, you know, I think and you see the passion in a lot of Italian fans. You know, a lot of the Italians have suffered for, you know, Inter did win the treble. Milan won the title the following year. But since then, and prior to that, every other team struggled and has struggled. And the last time they felt jubilation was the World Cup in 2006. So you got to think up until, you know, the last 10 years, it's been Juventus. Inter's finally broken that trend. But for a lot of Serie A fans, the national team has been the epitome of their excitement because, well, Roma, Milan, Napoli, you know, the big teams in Italy haven't had success other than Juventus.
Yeah, 100%. There's 10 people here right now. Make sure you let us know who you are. Mario Galliano is here, who makes hella waves on all channels these days, drops in when he wants, but I know that he can call this place home. Hello, Bruno. Your hair looks darker since last time. So keep doing your thing, Mario, bro. I noticed you dropped a few, man. I don't know whether it's because you're getting engaged, but you're looking fit. You're looking hella fit, bro, so keep it up. All right, let's get this ball game started, Bruno. Lots of Inter stuff to talk about. Lots and lots of Inter stuff to talk about. We'll get some of the dirty laundry out of the way straight away. After a very, very long official or semi-official transfer saga, it looks like Achraf Hakimi. Obviously, what do I mean? Does it look like? It is. Achraf Hakimi is obviously a player for Paris Saint-Germain. It's probably one of the biggest transfers you ever see Inter get. It breaks the fullback record. My God, bro. Talk to us a little bit about the fallout of this, man, because it was always going to happen. There was nobody that was going to fetch us a sort of fee like Hakimi. But, wow, man, Kyle Walker was the record for before this, and we smacked it out of the park by about 20 million.
Yeah, look, I think that this is something that I was very skeptical of from day one in regards to Hakimi. When you're a Real Madrid player and they refuse to keep you, to loan you off to, Dortmund, and then Inter signed him. But, Conte had a fantastic part to play in regards to the player he turned into. But at the same time, could he maintain it? Could he maintain the season he just had into the next? And when you've got a player who's gone from what he has to how great he is at the moment, and PSG's turned around and they've offered, it was 60 million plus 10 in bonuses. 8 million, quite easy to achieve, and 2 million are more difficult. So I'm assuming they're more title-based, Champions League final based. But overall, Inter are in financial difficulty. You'd be quite naive to think otherwise. So Hakimi, probably the least impactful sale to be made in the scheme of things. And the biggest relief that I get from all of that, and we're going to touch on the presser because Anthony does have it covered, but they did turn around and say Hakimi is and will be our only big sale for the club this season. So it does provide that sense of, okay, well, it's done and dusted. Go and join former player and compatriot Icardi there. Enjoy it, because at the end of the day, look, he's making his money.
Yeah, not to mention Sergio Ramos as well. And my goodness me, it's just it's like a sale on at a market at the end of the day. And everybody's for discount, but there's only one person who can afford it. It's a joke.
It's
a joke, bro. It's honestly a joke. I like watching Juve get out-muscled in the market, but this is just like flat track bullying. Honestly,
it's one thing having a Marotta negotiate at a better way than Agnelli, but at the same time you've got welcome to Cherry Dencini.
Laughing at the name.
Look, at the end of the day, you've got an investor who just keeps dropping money into this club. And you know what? They're not breaching financial fair play because he is using his own money. But at the end of the day, you got to draw a line eventually. Success can't be bought, and we've seen it, time and time again.
Yeah, fair enough. Welcome, Mario. You can unmute yourself and say hi. Welcome back to Inter Worldwide. It's good to see you under the alias of Cherry Dancini. Very good. Very good. How you doing, man?
What's up, guys? Good to see you. It's been too long since I've been over here.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
Was that 2 winning celebrations?
Yeah, I think it's been since we celebrated Scudetto, and that's it.
Yeah, pretty much since I had that cheap-ass internet connection.
Yeah. Or when you were just ducking in from everywhere, like in your car, in a car park, wherever you could get yourself handy, bro. Any promotion is good promotion, man. I'm going to jump straight into the first press conference from Inzaghi. We'll talk a little bit about that, and we'll get Mario and Bruno's thoughts. It was a good press conference, verbally, transcript-wise. His body language and his facial expressions always says that I'm struggling. It says I'm struggling with digestion, I'm struggling with whatever it is. It just always says he's struggling, but he was quite happy to be there, as any manager would be, to take that sort of leap up in their career. Lazio's a great club to manage. Inter is a more than great club to manage. Let's get that straight first of all. And I'm really glad that he feels that sort of elation about it, because it really means that he'll go into it with his heart and his head. I wanted to touch on a few things. First of all, he said that he's spoken to Christian Eriksen and that he'll welcome him back with open arms. It's always nice to hear that, especially since as time goes on, you can tell that Christian is going to be, nothing but hell-bent on returning to the pitch. And whether it's with us or another club, that remains to be seen. But it's still good to hear that as well. This is where the massive divide between a manager like Simone Inzaghi and Antonio Conte comes, when Simone Inzaghi comes out and the first thing he says I knew Ashraf would leave. It's a shame because after the season he was one of the best players in Europe, but I understand why he had to be sold. I'm very happy with the deal of bringing Hakan in and also with some players leaving and reducing their contracts as well. Is the polar opposite to a manager that's going to sit there and go, if I don't get X, Y, Z, I'm out the door quicker than you can count to 3. Mario, your initial thoughts on Simone Inzaghi's press conference, if you've had a little bit of a look into it, man?
I'm actually looking at it now for the first time, but it seems like he's taking that step that in his career that he needs to take, and I think Inter is a great place for him. He has the idea of what he needs to do. He wants to go for the Scudetto again. I get it. I don't know how attainable it realistically is. If we have to sell a couple more people and not bring in the right reinforcements. But I'm glad that he's not trying to give no attitude. That's like the biggest thing, because he's like, all right, Hakimi's going, gotta deal with it. Eriksen's, you're out of Eriksen pretty much for, I don't know, at least half the season, I'd say, until he gets either fit or healthy, whatever the case is. If he even comes back, that's grasping at straws at this point. But I think he's going to have a plan that's going to it's going to translate to what the team wants, and he's going to bring a new direction. Obviously, it's not going to be the same as Conte, where it's like everyone's a freaking soldier, but it's a work in progress. So let me read more for a second, and I'll comment on it.
Look,
by all means, go for it, Bruno.
I gotta say, just on your comment, whenever Inzaghi goes into a press conference or has an interview, he looks like he's smashed up a panini right before, and he can feel it coming back up. He's got that indigestion, and he's just there trying to hold it, But that's just his awkward nature. In regards to, comparing him to Conte, you can't compare him to Conte. He's won a couple of, he's won a couple of Coppa Italia. Yeah, he got them to the round of 16. By all means, that's fantastic and all. But Conte is a serial Scudetto winner. And when Conte comes into a team and makes those demands, you sort of got to give him what he asks for. Because at the end of the day, he's proven that he can win you a title, and he needs A, B, and C to accomplish that. Whereas Inzaghi, he's come from Lazio, where Latino has the tightest ass and wouldn't spend anything, and would sell their players to a team like Inter, where it's like, well, I've got too much here. And he's also you can see the respect he's got in the sense of, well, I've been given this chance, I've been given this opportunity. And I can't really say that the pressure's on. Yeah, it'd be a target for him to win the Scudetto. But if he qualifies Inter for Champions League, I can see him staying at the club. For the simple fact is he hasn't won it before. And he hasn't really challenged for it before. People argue that last year. Well, the season prior, yeah, all right, they were close to the beginning, but everyone sort of drifted away, and Juventus showed what they're made of. So it was very good, but the thing that really got me impressed with it all was the whole idea of him and Marotta. They did it together, and you could tell. You mentioned that Conte makes the players act like soldiers. You've distracted me now, sweatshirt. Conte makes the players turn into... Well, Inzaghi is a soldier of Marotta. Inzaghi is also a soldier of Inter. Will it take time for him to integrate? Yeah, most probably. Will we be title contenders? Well, there's a lot of points for the rest of the teams to make up on from us last year, and Conte and Hakimi surely don't account for, that much. But I do think we'll get some more entertaining football from this guy. And look, it's exciting. Very exciting.
It is. Another couple of things that he said, which is good. A little bit of closure on the left-hand side of the pitch. Federico Di Marco and Ivan Perisic. He did say that Di Marco did very well at Verona. He's an Inter Academy product, which is something to be proud of. He's a player that the club and I are counting on, and Perisic has done brilliantly as a wing back. I'm looking forward to welcoming him. He can do very well in our system. I think with our financial constraints, I am not opposed to the idea of going into next season with Perisic and DiMarco as our left-sided players. It'd be really nice to get that upgrade, that world-class upgrade we've been calling out for. But as time has gone on, it's important to be realistic. And
we got him. You got him. He signed for an extra season.
Who? Perisic?
No.
D'Ambrosio.
No, the left side. Kolarov.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. Yeah, he was going to be the makeshift center back in a back three.
That was another thing I was just reading. He's like, I've coached the Vry and I've played with Kolarov and Handanovic.
Yeah.
He's played with them.
Wait,
where has he played? Where has he played with them? It can't be Lazio. Maybe Lazio. Samp. It has to be Sampdoria.
Yeah.
It has to be Sampdoria. That's bizarre. That's bizarre, bro. That's absolutely
I love you, Darian.
Bizarre. He's played.
That's
shit.
Nuts. That's freaking nuts.
That is nuts, bro. That is absolutely nuts.
Surely, so Handanovic will be there as long as Inzaghi's there then.
Yeah. Maybe Handanovic will shift into assistant coach. That would be something to talk about. Let's move into something else to talk about. Nah, Biggie, we're coming back to that. Don't worry. I've got a section dedicated to that photo. Don't worry, man.
The right side, or are we done with Hakimi?
We're done with Hakimi sort of thing, unless you got something to add.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I wrote it in like a thing for Serpents of Madonnina, where I'm actually excited to have two right backs this year of who is it, D'Ambrosio and
Darmian,
because I mean, given the circumstances, it's not like fucking, it's not ideal. Don't get me wrong. It's not like
I love him.
I love him too. Don't get me wrong. It's not like we're getting an upgrade, but they do the job. Between the two of them, you're getting two solid right backs for nothing. And for me,
they really love the shirt that they play for as well. They really love the shirt.
In the last 2 years, how many clutch plays have those two players had? You know, last minute goals. D'Ambrosio popping up for a corner. Darmian getting that ball in. They might not be the most talented players, but they're the hungriest.
They're clutch, and that's what you need in a player.
100%.
You just need them to show up in that 1 minute. Like, yeah, sure, it goes against everything I say about Icardi, but at the same time, you know, it's a completely different position where you need your right back to score a goal. Fucking scores a goal, god damn it, out of nowhere. You know, Darmian, he's been a good player throughout his career. He's been underwhelming, you could say, yes, but he's never been bad. He's never been like, you know, this guy can't hack it at the Serie A level.
Mario, it's not his fault after his best season at Torino, Man United decided to disgustingly break the bank with unrealistic expectations, switch him up tactically, play him out of position, and then all of a sudden, oh no, now he's wasted his shit.
Done. It doesn't make sense to me. So for me, I'm happy because they're two versatile defenders. Perisic and DiMarco go down. You have them on the wings for a couple games until they come back. Is it ideal? I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do, and hopefully Inzaghi can find someone as like a backup. People were saying Lazaro. I don't really know how feasible that is. If it was up to me, sell him 4 or 5 euros, 4 or 5 million euros. I mean,
we can't, unfortunately, because we overpaid on him 25. We can't sell him just yet. We've got to equalize it a bit more. If that means extending by a year and loaning him out a little bit, so be it.
Yeah, I mean, whatever it takes. You know.
Yeah. This comment is good, but you know, Darmian and D'Ambro aren't starter materials for a team fighting for Scudetto. That's a good comment in theory, but in context, let's analyze the rivals for a second. Who exactly is putting a world-class PSG-looking lineup on the pitch in Serie A? The fact of the matter is the majority of Juventini actually want Alexandro sold. The whole reason that they can't get him off the books for 7 mil a year. You know, Theo Hernandez, as good as he is, how good is that right-hand side for Milan? We're a Scudetto winning side where the players we're talking about right now are our worst scenario, and our worst scenario got us 6 points in 4 games against Hellas and Cagliari to win us the Scudetto last season. You know, there's levels to this shit. Go on, Bruno.
You gotta argue against it because at the same time, Damian was our starting. He was a starter for so long when Hakimi had that false positive, and so was D'Ambrosio, and both of them did step up. Now, it doesn't mean we're going to have the most chances created from that side of the pitch, or we're going to have that pace, but they do bring an element to the team, which, you know what, I'm sure Juventus would take Damian or D'Ambrosio any day of the week. It's just as simple as that, because you know what, they might not be the best on paper, but like you said earlier, they fight for this badge. And Damian, when he was given the chance after that false positive, and I said that was the best thing to happen to Inter all season, because we would not have seen Damian. And when we did, Conte turned around and was like, shit, like I've got something. I don't know who to pick. Because Hakimi's got pace, but Damian knows how to defend.
Yeah, like think of it this way: like these guys would start on any other team.
Yeah,
pretty much. Damian could start anywhere.
Damian would start at any other team in Serie A, hands down. Hands down, he'd walk in as a starting right back at Napoli, at Juve, everywhere but Atalanta, maybe.
Yeah, the attacking drop off, it's not even close. But at the same time, they're solid players. They're reliable. That's at the end of the day, you can't find that in a right back. Di Lorenzo from Napoli, he looks good in the national team, but in Napoli, it's a different story. Week in and week out, he's not the same player.
Yeah. Side note, big up Spalletti for the way he handled his first press conference. Guy is a gentleman. He oozes class. I love him, and I'll be cheering him on as my second manager next season, despite the fact that someone's coaching in Rome, and we're going to get to this big mouth, utter champion winning loser. You cannot paradox this guy enough in one sentence, bro. A couple of last really good comments from Inzaghi. Nico Barella, Bastoni, Lautaro all reached the final, which I am really happy about in the European and Copa America Championship. It has been a joy to watch them. Great comment, and fantastic as well to hear, as like the Inter team has repped really well in both international tournaments, and to see those players all play in the final, I'm really happy to see it. Mario, I'll go to you first. Toro, bro, he has been ripping shit up. I've been watching the Copa America. I've watched almost every game. Venezuela versus Bolivia was better than the quarterfinals of the Euros, man. It's such an entertaining tournament. But Lautaro, dude, this guy's ice cold. He looks like he doesn't give a shit playing for Argentina. He loves it, man. He loves it. Our boy, what do you think?
It's a completely different environment when you go from Conte's Inter to Argentina playing against teams like Bolivia and Venezuela. It's a giant fuck around because they're basically playing against farmers. They're actually playing against farmers. You know, like these guys, I was talking about it with my coworker who doesn't really watch soccer today. I'm like, you go watch the Copa America, and it's just like these smaller teams and these other teams that they play against that aren't like Brazil, Argentina, and like, I don't know, Chile and Paraguay or something like that. They're just like, they just chase the ball and want to kill each other. There's no tactics. So like Lautaro can do whatever he wants because these guys you're not going against like the PKs, the Chiellinis.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Week in and week out. He's doing whatever the fuck he wants. And he's got Messi next to him. So Messi basically does the job for him. It's like, imagine Lukaku doing everything, and then you're just free, and there's all the space to do whatever you want. And nobody's going to say, don't dribble the ball. Don't shoot. They say shoot, dribble, make the guy look like an asshole because we're gonna win.
Okay. So good on him, man. Usually I would probably cheer on Brazil over Argentina, but pretty much just for total purposes, I think I'm cheering on Argentina in this final, man. I just want to see him win. He's fantastic to watch, bro, and he's really got the Messi tick of approval right up to that penalty where the camera panned into Messi to see his reaction. Messi loves this dude. I honestly think he's got one good season left at us until we sell him for 90 million euros to Barcelona, man, honestly, but conversation for another time. Back to the presser and back to Bruno. Marotta, the lieutenant, the right-hand man to Inzaghi, the man who's looking to keep it all together for us, bro. He had a lot to say. It was like he really wanted his presence to be felt at this press conference, man. He said he was very pleased to be there, very proud to have Inzaghi. He was certain that he's the right person for the job. as a result for, it was a little bit negative what he was talking about, but he was trying to put a very realistic, solid foundation behind it. Saying things like we're currently in the process of recovering from the pandemic, which has caused a lot of suffering. As a result, football too is looking for a sustainable model. Nowadays, you need to work differently. Sadly, we're going to be faced with more unpleasant financial situations in football going forward. I'd like to mention that our owners have so far invested $700 million to ensure the club's stability, but the global financial situation has changed, and football, like other sectors, is paying the price. In any case, it's not always a case of who spends more wins more. I believe that in long term, clearly we have made our outlook look sustainable. That was an example of selling Achraf Hakimi. Very straight to the point, man, like straight out, like a messenger delivering the news, no matter how many emotions are going to play into it. What did you think of Marotta at the press conference, bro?
I think he needed to say that. I think he had to really ensure that everyone understood Inter's in trouble. He needed to make sure that everyone understood, and we're not just, we're not Ajax where we'll develop player and sell them for a massive profit and then start again and rebuild. And, we didn't win a title and our goals have now changed. So by him coming out and turning around and saying all of this, it's sort of, all right, well, we sort of knew that, and the more intelligent people did know that. But sometimes passion plays a lot in regards to how you look at your club and how you view their situation. So by him coming out and saying, look, it's something that we had to do, the owners can't pump any more money into it. The pandemic's crippled a lot of football giants. And it's a man who always has the best interests of the club, and like Biggie stated, he would suggest that Gag start over Messi because then we'd have to pay Messi more. But look, I think essentially he's the rock that this club has had. He's that one pillar that has stopped everything from crumbling. Since he joined Inter, he's been that one pillar that has held 20-story building above his head. You take Marotta out and the rest of the club crumbles. And, I think he's put Zhang in his place a couple of times. I think he put Conte in his place a couple of times. And I think he's already given the lecture to Inzaghi. So it's going to be interesting.
I'm glad Zanetti's working closely with this guy every day, because Zanetti really needs to find his voice. It's the only thing he's lacking as a leader in the club. Maybe he likes and has had an agreement to always take that sort of back seat and not put himself in the limelight. But I think to myself, well, what if worse was to happen and we were to lose someone like Marotta? Is it really going to be that bad of a situation? So, let's just make sure that the club is in a sustainable position where if the worst comes to worst, we can still be successful. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the squad arriving back at training. Let's talk a little bit about a couple of the players that need to go yesterday, such as this lovely piece of work. Look at him. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care about anyone or anything. Can you guys see it on the screen?
Yep.
Yeah.
There he is.
I love this man.
Oh, yeah. Why do you think I curse him so much? Because I love him so much. If I really didn't love him so much, I wouldn't have his name in my mouth all the time. It happens.
I said this last year before the season even started. If he's not playing, he's gonna be a problem. He's not gonna want to be here.
Yeah.
It's obvious. The man wants to play. He's a good player. And when you see when you're not getting the minutes you think you deserve, he deserves minutes. I mean, even if he wasn't at his best at Cagliari this year. A quality player, regardless. I mean, I don't know what his motive is anymore. If it's just to play, if he loves the game, if he's just trying to, put food on the table, whatever the case is, the guy just wants to play. And if he's not going to play at Inter, he's not going to,
Bro.
He's not going to be happy.
Indra Hari's here. He goes, 999 chances for Raja to revive his career. Come on, Cagliari, go get him. Bro, after everything that's happened, if Inzaghi was to come out tomorrow and say, I'm using Nainggolan off the bench every game this season in Serie A, and he's agreed to it, and he's going to be a squad rotational player, I think it's one of the most genius decisions our club could make from a financial perspective as well. Just give him a bit of a pay cut. At the end of the day, Mario, this guy does not like Inter. He came to Inter to play for Spalletti. He does not care about our club. He does not give a shit about this club whatsoever. He would almost rather see us not succeed. And I know that's probably not true in a big way. Bruno, you can go next. I can see you squinting, but I challenge this guy to prove me otherwise, bro.
Look, he's had some amazing moments with Inter, and under Spalletti, he showed us what he's potentially capable of. But at the same time, Conte arrives and we send him, Perisic, and Icardi off. All right, Icardi gets sold. Perisic gets integrated into the squad come season 2, Conte season 2. And Nainggolan, I think he came on a couple of times.
Twice off the bench for about 5-6 minutes.
Yeah, he wins a Scudetto. Nice. Played 20 minutes total max, if that. Wins a Scudetto. All right. But now Inzaghi's come in. You got to have a look and see, well, can Inzaghi get something different out of him? Because Conte didn't utilize him at all. And Biggie has hit the nail on the comment there. It's not like as Jean Mario rocking up to training. If we saw his face there and him giving the thumbs up, we'd tell him where to go. It's a Rajan Nainggolan, and there's a bit of respect that goes with that name. And as much as he is disliked by a lot of the Inter community, a lot of the Inter community don't understand what's happened in the background, right? There was the whole issue with his wife as well. She got cancer, and how does that impact you mentally, right? Pardon?
Did they divorce too?
They did just afterwards. So that gives even more respect to Bruno's comment. How do you know what goes on behind closed doors? For all we know, he stuck by her through thick and thin, and then when it was mutual, they parted ways when she was at proper health. And if that really is the case, then he's a gentleman and a bigger man.
Yeah, look, and at the end of the day, all right, if Inzaghi thinks he can utilize him, well, he's costing us money going to Cagliari. He's costing us money wherever he goes. Well, make your worth. You do something, okay? But it's up to Inzaghi, and we've got to put full faith in this coach. As much as we could be as critical as we can, we've got to give him full faith. And Matt, I'm not sure if Vidal's gone. I haven't heard. I heard rumblings before that he might be going, but I haven't seen if he has officially left. So it could be a great replacement for him. But yeah, so Dalbert as well. What do you think, Mario, about Dalbert coming?
Oh my God, what a disaster that transfer was.
Which transfer we're talking about? Sorry,
Dalbert.
Oh my God, 23 million, 25 million down the drain. That's one of the worst you'll ever see. That's worse than Lazzaro.
Yeah, I mean, Lazzaro's bad though. 40 million for a guy that can't even play.
Was it 40? I thought that was 30.
Lazzaro was 40, I think.
Oh my God. So we're 65 million in the toilet, not including everybody else for wingback we didn't even use.
That's what I'm saying. Like the Hakimi transfer sort of covers a little bit, but it's you still have them on your roster, and what are you going to do with them? You keep loaning them out? Like they're dead weight. Dalbert couldn't hack it at Fiorentina. He had a couple good games.
Couldn't hack it at Rennes in France. He got benched, I think, by Nice as well.
Yeah. So like, what? I don't understand. Like the strategy we had when we bought these players. Did they watch a YouTube compilation and they said, "This is our guy"? Like what? I don't understand why they can't just get it right with wingbacks. Like we got it right with Hakimi, but I mean, did we really? Because now we have to sell him. Yeah. So at the end of the, it's ridiculous that we've had right back problems, left back problems for 5-6 years now, going strong.
Cancelo was the last good one.
Who was?
Cancelo.
I mean.
Mario and Christian would disagree tactically from a defensive point of view. Still for me, second to Hakimi.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, given the circumstances, I mean, there's not really much. I mean, Ambrosio, as much as we love him, I mean,
one thing's for sure, he knows where his home is, and it's in Serie A. These players, you don't know that they're good enough for Serie A because Cancelo had 6 months at Inter and 12 months at Juve. Half the time he was benched for De Sciglio. So really, you've got an inconsistent 18 months for Cancelo and 1 year for Hakimi. They never look like Serie A players. They come in, they dominate for a year. Maybe it's time that they do move on, bro, because they're not suited tactically to the system. It's almost like a real electric shock to the opposition when you have a player like Cancelo or Hakimi, because they're like, what the fuck? That doesn't really exist here.
Yeah, and like right backs are hard to find. They're a dime a dozen, like regardless of, especially in Italy. Like Cancelo played the whole season as a right back, and then the final they went with De Sciglio. That just goes to show you how bad, like, they didn't trust him. You know, like, Mancini, was it Mancini? Was it Mancini? Or Spalletti?
Spalletti for Inter.
Spalletti. Yeah. He didn't trust him until D'Ambrosio, I think it was, got hurt. Then he started getting his time. Like, oh, this guy, you know, he's good enough, I guess.
Well, we were paying his wage on a loan. We had no choice but to play him. And then we were like, oh, his attacking product is fantastic. Why does he not play right wing forward?
Exactly. Like the whole thing just never made sense because defense in Italy is the most important trait. Doesn't matter what you can do offensively. It's a fact. That's why D'Ambrosio is so important to his team and to each and every single coach that has coached him, because they're like, we can't get rid of this fucking guy. He does it all.
Yeah. Bruno, I'm going over to you for the next topic, man. It's something that I wanted to discuss since I heard him talk this morning. Jose Mourinho in the flesh, grey hair, slick back and all. My G, my guy Mourinho. I'd have no problem shaking his hand, saying thank you for everything you've done. But equally, F you for your repulsive attitude in football since you took the transfer to Manchester United. You are one of the most unbearable people to listen to, and I love him. I love him more and more every day. What's going on, Bruno? You talk while I get the transcript up of what my dude said.
It's Mourinho doing Mourinho things, and you know what? The guy is one of the greatest coaches we'll see. You know, you've got your Peps and Zidanes who have coached and won, but they never did what Mourinho did. And I don't think anyone can do what he's done, you know, and he did it in such a short time frame. But at the same time, I don't know if any of you have seen the list of players he has not called.
Yeah, bro, I saw
in
it
regards
this
to the Roma preseason. And
Pastore, Nzonzi, Kluivert, Pedro. He wants, I don't know if you saw it, Mario, bro. This guy put 7 men on the blacklist for returning to training.
Yeah. And so, look, and he does it. And I take this back to my earlier point where, you know, there are certain managers who are entitled to make demands because they are who they are. But, yeah, I love him on his Vespa.
Yeah, I know, bro.
But I'm not scared of Roma. Just like there is not an ounce of me that thinks Lazio will do anything this season. Right? Yeah, we got Sarri. The only thing that's going to happen is lung problems in the locker room because he smokes too much and the rest of the players get sick. Right? And I'm not worried about Mourinho. But at the same time, if we're in 3rd or 4th and you've got Mourinho and Sarri there or abouts, that's when I'll start to worry about them. I can't see either of them competing for the title. But at the same time, Mourinho brings an aura with it, you know, and it will be really interesting to see how he goes about it. But just looking at what the players he's put on his list of get out, you know, and the players he's looking to keep. And then you've got Zaniolo, and then you've got these new, I think they're American owners who felt a bit ripped off with Fonseca. So you don't know if money's going to be getting spent, and you don't know. They brought Mourinho in. Well, you're not going to bring him in to manage this, I'd say, B-class team at the moment. You know, they're not title contenders, but you change 3 or 4 players, you've got a very strong team happening.
Yeah. Mario, what are your thoughts on his comments, first of all, saying things along the lines of, you know, I've been a victim for what I've done. Basically, you know, I win 3 trophies at Manchester United and I'm seen as a failure, whereas anybody else in the world would be deemed as a success. Same with my time at Tottenham. He also very carelessly decided to add at the end, I don't know if you heard about this, that we're building a sustainable project at Roma. It's very easy to win without paying wages, but we're looking for something more for the future. Like, what for, bro? What for?
Why the hell not? You know, why not? You're Mourinho. This is what you do. This is what you pay for. You pay for him to get under the skin of all the managers, all the fans, all the players, ex-players, legends. He even insults the trophies. The trophies feel bad. So this is Mourinho's tactic. I mean, take it what you will. He's going to smile at the end of the day, come back to Inter. He's going to be friends with them. He's going to joke. It's going to be like as if nothing happened. But he's a winner going into a losing environment. And that's what scares me the most, because they're a bunch of losers at Roma. They have nothing. They have nothing going for them. I can't even use my Palermo argument because Pastore, they don't even want Pastore anymore. That just goes to show you, like, how low it is over there. Like, I'm not too worried about them, and I don't even know what to think of it, honestly. I still can't wrap my head around it because
it's peculiar. Nah, Biggie says I would have loved to see Conte versus Mourinho. That would have been fantastic, but you know, it is what it is, man. I think Conte is really looking forward to his season off and watching what's closer to a Netflix series than a proper football season that's coming up, man. Honestly. We'll see.
I think the biggest fear that I see as an Inter is I can't see us being in Roma this season. And it's not for the players we've got, but Mourinho will make Inzaghi feel this little. And Inzaghi hasn't got a mouth on him. Inzaghi is choking on the panino he just ate before the press conference. So, you know, it's like a boxing fight or a UFC championship fight. A lot of these fights are won off the pitch, and when you look at your leader and you see him as weak, and Mourinho does that a lot, you know, that can win you games. That can win you games. Now, we've got a respectful team, and we've seen the team come out. You know, Lukaku, Bastoni, the Barellas, they're very respectful. But you look at other teams. Imagine Ronaldo or Mourinho ripping, I don't even know who, they've gone through managers the last couple of years. Allegri now, you know, a new one, and Allegri just sitting there with his tail between his legs. Ronaldo will look at him and piss himself off. And that's dead set honesty, right? When you've got a team who are already critical of the manager and you see something like that, well, it's going to be interesting. The most exciting game I'm looking forward to that's not interrelated this season will be Roma Lazio, because you've got 2 new managers.
It's going to be mint.
It's going to be fire. But again, Sarri has a mouth on him. So I'm more excited for the press conference, to be honest.
Yeah, it'll be good stuff, man. It'll be good stuff. All right, we've got a couple of things we still need to cover. So let's move on because we've been going for almost 45 minutes. Next thing, new sponsor. Really ugly sponsor, horrendous sponsor to the level that you would not buy the jersey even if you were paid to represent the sponsor. It's that bad. It's $sign and all. Bruno thinks it's BS and it's not 100% confirmed or anything. I'm going to go straight over to him. I don't know the first thing about this whole side cryptocurrency cash fan coin shit. So, Bruno, maybe you can enlighten us a little bit, because this does not seem like a good choice whatsoever, despite the fact that they're saying, oh, we'll get 20 million. To that I say, is that getting paid up front? Because I can't wait for 3 months' time for them to default their first payment, bro. I can't wait.
Look, when I saw it, I did my research, because I'm like, well, there's no way in hell I'm going to buy this jersey, right? And it's worse than having a betting organization on your jersey, to be honest, because at the end of the day, cryptocurrency is a gamble. But I did my research, and if you're becoming a major sponsor for a football team, Now, this company is not a cryptocurrency company. Like that, they're not a cryptocurrency themselves. But what they do is they create coins and cryptocurrencies for different clubs. And Juventus, PSG, AC Milan, Roma, Barcelona, Real Madrid. Then they've got a whole lot of Turkish ones.
The Celtics, basketball, hockey, they're in every.
Yeah. So they create a noise, and you know what? They make money because you got to think. Oh, look, my team's got a cryptocurrency. I'm going to invest a couple of grand into it. Does sweet for cool, and I watch them because I divulge into cryptocurrencies, and I watch the fluctuations in these prices, and it's just stupid. But when I first saw it, I looked at it, and I looked at this company's listings and future listings for the next 3 months, and Inter's got no mention there whatsoever, right? So if you're going to be sponsoring and being a major shirt sponsor of a jersey, you can't not have Inter as a cryptocurrency listed. 1. 2, it's a conflict of interest if you've got AC Milan, Juventus, and potentially we're facing Barcelona or Real Madrid in our group stage of the Champions League in your business as well. Because it's like Agnelli owning part of Milan, Inter, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and having no and being full-time sponsor of Inter, right? So there's conflict in interest. I think the rumor started because a survey was released by this company asking which team do you want to see next. Because I looked at the next 3 months of their token releases, and they've got Villarreal, Valencia, Levante, couple of Greek teams, Turkish teams, the UFC they're listing on there as a crypto. So there is no mention of Inter. Now, if you're about to be unveiled as a new shirt sponsor, there should be something there. You should be hyping people up. You should be getting people eager to buy your product, because that's the whole point of being a shirt sponsor.
Yeah. Nice one. Mario, your thoughts on this initial ugly-looking sponsor? There's 15 people here still. Big ups. 47 minutes in. If you're one of the 15 people here, like the video.
So also like to go a little bit deeper into that. So the Socios is powered by Chili's coin. It's called. If you look that up on CoinMarketCap and all that, it's 25 cents for one Chili's.
Okay.
And that's not until the end of the day. That's for right now. Like, I'll go on it right now, CoinMarketCap, and I'll tell you exactly how much it is right now. This was yesterday. I looked it up. What is it? And it is right now at 24 cents. So it went down a cent. So if this thing drops for whatever reason, it doesn't catch, goes down to 0, then what is Socios? What do you can have 1,000 of these intercoins, whatever you want to call it, and then what? You need 1 million?
Worth nothing.
Billion? It's literally worth nothing. So that's the problem with that. Like, I'm into crypto too. I think it has a chance, but right now it's still in its infancy, and it's a scary thing when you have economic problems. So Socios can go out of business tomorrow. That's how bad it is.
Fans are saying it's a very sunning sort of thing to do, very in the dark, bet against yourself. I don't know. Bruno, finish this off for us.
Look, I've seen rumors and Samsung, Hisense, and I just think we cannot risk going to someone other than someone like Hisense, someone like Samsung, someone like Alibaba,
someone stable,
has provided Suning with a bailout for their retail side of things. He might sponsor Inter Milan. Someone like Apple. I've never seen Apple on a jersey anywhere. And I was talking with a couple of friends yesterday, a couple of cousins. Imagine Gucci being an Inter sponsor in Western Sydney. Everyone wearing an Inter jersey. But this won't work. And this isn't what's going to be the sponsor of Inter Milan. So that's where I'm going to leave it.
Fair enough, bro. Let's go into the amazing interview that yourself, Alessandro, and Mo conducted with Carlo Cottarelli, CEO of INTERSPAC. former prime minister of Italy. It was fantastic. For a couple of days. Doesn't matter. Still counts, all right? It's on record. What else? Bruno, like, thanks for teeing that up. And
Director of the International Monetary Fund.
Yeah.
As well.
It was a great video, bro. It was more like direct, informative, to the point. And it's not like the gentleman, you know, said, we're aiming for X, Y, Z. We're going to make this the biggest thing ever. He was humble in a sense that he said, this is where we're starting from. These are our goals. Are you guys on board or what?
Yeah, so look, it was 2 a.m. here when and by the time we started it was 2:30. So I really was waiting for this to be over and done with. But it was an honor to actually speak to him. And just from the outset, you know, we introduced him as a professor, we introduced him as former prime minister, the former director of the International Monetary Fund, and he just disregarded all of that. He goes, I'm not here to you as a CEO. I'm here today as an interista. Yeah. An interista from when I was 9 years old. An interista when my father was a Juventino, right? Now, I don't know about you. I followed in my father's footsteps. I didn't have the parley to turn around and say, I'm not following Inter. And I've grown to love them. But the whole point of the interview, it wasn't to say, I want you to put your money into Inter. Right. And by all means, I don't want any of our fans to take that as a suggestion that we're telling them to invest in Inter, because that's not what that was all about. It was to get INTERSPAC on the radar of a lot of people. And just the way he put forward, no, he didn't tell us what percentage they're looking to get. No, they didn't tell us who, you know, how much money they're looking to raise. No, they didn't tell us a lot of things, which, you know, we had a lot of fan questions because, no, Biggie, don't ever say that. Please don't ever say that. But we had a lot of fan questions revolving around percentages and revolving around money and, you know, what type of power we would have and all of that thing. And his comments were very, well, I don't have those answers for you. Yeah. Because this hasn't even been presented towards Inter at the moment. Like Inter, yeah, they probably know it's happening in the background, but there's nothing formal that's been put forward. And it's something that the Serie A hasn't seen before as well. But you look at Bayern Munich, and he mentioned the Bayern Munich, 75% of it is owned by fans, 25% is owned by the 3As, Allianz, Adidas, and Aldi. Right?
Jeez, those are 3 such big sponsors. No wonder I feel like with Bayern Munich, they're just like, we would like to buy this huge player. And the 75% of fans are like, yes, sounds like a great idea. We approve.
Yeah, so basically, the reason he reached out and he wanted to do the interview was they released the questionnaire and the expressions of interest in Italian, and then they released it in English. But it wasn't just that, it was to really provide everyone with to put it on everyone's radar that this is the direction we're looking to take. Now, will it happen tomorrow? Definitely not. Will it happen in 2-3 years? I'd say more towards the end of when the money for the Oakment Fund that they lent to Inter is due. I think it would be more of an impact then. But basically, what they will be looking to do, and Indra Hari hit the nail on the head, right? They would like to own, 50 plus 1%, but at the same time, they also want to attract the massive names and the massive other companies to sponsor, like Bayern Munich, right? Because when you have a Chinese owner who, a lot of football owners don't have passion for the club. They have passion for their wallet and they have no interest. Whereas if you're a CEO of the company and you've bought into the team, it's because you have a passion for that team. And companies like Adidas, Allianz, and Audi see that, well, it's a safer investment. Yeah. Now, he also said, well, the idea is we want to be able to give the fans more of a power in regards to this is what we want Inter to be able to do. So, put a limit on, all right, there's a cap on 100 million max transfer fee. All right. We're not even going to consider purchasing someone if it's over 100 million and stuff like that. But, to me, it wasn't the most informative interview because I do a lot of research. I'm always up to times with what's happening with Inter. But to the general fan who, knows what the topics, knows who Inter's playing and knows the result, well, they'd love to see what's happening in that whole front of things. But it was definitely the first of many interviews. And look, he did mention the names of, and some of the names he mentioned that were going to be involved in the whole INTERSPAC process, from Andrea Bocelli to Valtazenia, right? He's clearly got Inter fans on board. So it's more, all right, well, this is what we need to do to achieve this final goal.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, in my eyes, I find it's worked really well for Bayern. Can it work in Italy? Well, we're about to be the guinea pigs if there's enough interest.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? Right? So it could be different, but I don't know. Mario, did you end up catching the interview?
Yeah, I saw it. I watch everything on Inter Worldwide. Video.
I was just going to say, well, you clearly know about it. So what do you think?
I think it's actually pretty cool. I mean, every fan wants to have their voice, and that's also kind of what the Socios Inter token is. It kind of goes hand in hand with that now after how you explained it. So I think the idea is there, but I don't know if the society or the what's it called, like like this, if it's gonna gain traction in Italy, the community, I guess, like that.
If it gets approval from things like the mayor level, council level, and government level and stuff like that.
I don't know.
That's the tough part. We're still fighting for our own stadium, for God's sake, after how many years?
It's a hard thing to accomplish. And yes, you have all these big names. I looked up the names on their website. They got some big players on there, but the problem is, at the end of the day, how does it benefit not for Inter but for the country or for Suning even? How does it benefit them at the end of the day?
I think essentially Suning would be gone.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean,
they want to keep this club, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I think the Chinese, and I don't know if you're up to date to it, but they're doing a lot of they're restricting a lot of money moving outside of the country.
We know that, bro. My question to you would be, is it any closer to being freed up? Because as soon as we hear the news that China allows Suning to reinvest, then we're gravy. But until that day, we're in prison.
Yeah. And are they going to want to give that up? I mean, obviously they haven't yet. They would have when it first came down and COVID hit and all that, because that's when they really started to hammer down on the restrictions. And I just don't. I love the idea. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't know if it's like a reality yet. As long as Suning is involved, at the very least.
If the reality was we really were in the light and they could see a prospect in this environment, our manager that just won the title wouldn't have left. It's about as doom and gloom as the decisions make it out to be. And I think we should just be thankful at the end of the day, this current Juventus aren't in a position to juggernaut forward, because if they were, we'd be in trouble. But next season, if nothing had happened in COVID, we'd be going, picture it like a Formula One grid, Inter would be going in way in front. Considering what has happened to us in the last few months, we are going into next year's Formula One grid neck and neck with Juventus, Atalanta, possibly Milan and Napoli. We're still there. It's not like we're about to go into Armageddon because the rest of the world is still suffering, Mario.
Yeah, I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, and I hope for the best. I think it's a great plan, but
just in regards to the comment, Indra Hardy made just now, Suning don't change the owner to Alibaba because Alibaba provided a bailout for not Suning in general. It was the retail space that Suning control. So Suning is a collection of different companies. So it was the retail side of things that's swinging. So it really has not got much to do with Inter Worldwide. It's got nothing to do with Inter Worldwide, but it's got nothing to do with Inter at the moment. But historically speaking, if he's taken and he's provided a bailout and he's taken over one faction, it could be, maybe a 10, 15-year process and he might take over the whole thing. But at the moment, that Alibaba piece that everyone's seen on Bloomberg and across China, it's got nothing to do with the Inter side of things and doesn't have an impact with us at the moment. But, so just wanted to clear that up because a lot of Inter fans are getting that confused, thinking Jack Ma and Alibaba have bought Inter.
Zanetti is part of INTERSPAC, no?
Zanetti?
He's a player in there, isn't he?
I assume so.
No,
not yet.
I don't know if he can be.
Probably a conflict of interest for sure. The guy's vice president of the club.
Yeah, so I don't think he can be. I saw Walter Zenia, but I don't think they would have approached him because he's a part of the Intercorp. I
don't think anyone that's on Suning's payroll would be allowed to be a part of INTERSPAC just yet. So anyway, that's just my opinion. While I've got Mario here, just before we wrap it up, and we are wrapping it up within the next 2 minutes, Mario, Ajuri, big time thing in the final. Bruv, we got there. And I don't give a shit what anybody says. We've moved in silence this tournament.
Yeah.
And people can go on about how Italians are cocky, Italians are arrogant. You know what? Fair play. We're a very arrogant country, and history has dictated our arrogance. But this time, I truly feel like a lot of us were reality checked in 2018, and we've been hanging around in the background with a big smile on our face going, bring it on. We've been here before, bro. Let's see how we can dance again. And here we go again, fratello. A final. Just like that. You miss a World Cup, you make a final the next time, bro.
Motherfucker.
Who else can do that shit?
It's impossible. It's hard to do what Italy's done. They've turned the program around, like they 180 that, and it's ever since they brought Mancini in. We love Mancini. Me, Christian, we love Mancini. We freaking die by this man. He's not a good coach, but he does the right things. He puts the right lineups. He puts the best 11 players out there, and he kind of just closes his eyes and lets Jesus take the wheel.
I give him more credit than that, but I get what you're saying. He's not going to out. He certainly didn't outcoach Luis Enrique. No, he did not.
He didn't outcoach the Austria coach.
No, he did not.
So I mean, he's not gonna outcoach Conte.
Then I guess it's a good thing he only has to come up against Gareth frickin' Southgate in the final, man, who also closes his eyes and goes, say hi to Raheem Sterling for me when you get out there.
Gareth Southgate has 11 men.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas Mancini's got a bench full of players as well that can back him up. Right. So if it's not going to plan A, he's got B, C, and D. Whereas if Sterling and Harry Kane, none of them have the ball in the back of the net. Well, look, I don't think many people are going home. All right?
I don't know.
Nothing's coming home. But the nerves are at an all-time high.
They don't have to go too far. I mean, UEFA fixed the tournament so this way it's in their backyard so they can walk home.
Bro, it's been very geared towards England. There'd be no... The thing is, Italy aren't exactly a popular nation with people who aren't Italians. But right now, everybody wants us to win. And I said this to a few people today. I'm like, it takes a real special shit sort of nation to get the rest of the world on Italy's side. England has been able to do that, bro, honestly.
Crazy. I was talking about it on, we were on Ricky's thing before, his channel.
Yeah.
In the beginning, right? Yeah. So I went on a tangent because I'm like, the media is ridiculous. The way they'll portray England after playing, I don't want to say good against Denmark because, I mean, they dominated the game, but they weren't effective and needed to cheat and steal to win. But that's okay. That's, it's they will say it's a great game. They deserved it, this, that, and the other. But when Italy, they waste 10, 12 minutes against Spain or Austria, Belgium, whatever the case is, oh, it's a travesty, it's a disgrace to soccer. It's like, how do you call yourselves diligent reporters when there's a complete double standard on your hands? Like The Athletic, I'm a subscriber to The Athletic because it was free with T-Mobile. So
they write some amazing articles, man. You get some articles on there that you will never get anywhere else. They're that good.
And that's why I'm so pissed off with them, because they made a whole thing about Italy being, is it cheating? Is it joke? Is it funny? Is it skill? Clearly it's satirical, because I'm like, you can't be serious with this right now. You can't be putting a headline like that. And then when England comes in play and they pull the stuff that they do, not a word is said. You say, oh, they dominated the game, they deserve to win. Right? They did a breakdown of the penalty, and they said, well, it's basically up to the referee. Raheem Sterling was touched, so it's up to the referee's discretion, and VAR can't overturn it. Whereas if that's Italy in the situation, oh, the Italians need help.
But those two balls on the pitch, they shouldn't have gotten to that far.
I was listening.
They should not have gotten that far.
From Talk Sport this morning, I'm like, bro, 2.5 million followers and subscribers, and you put 3 blokes like this on the panel to talk.
And then they brought
it's disgusting, bro. Like, the big reflection of it is people in football who technically matter, like your Arsene Wenger's, your Jose Mourinho's, when all these people come out and go, no penalty, that's where it ends. That's where it ends, bro. Screw your punditry, bro.
And then someone in my comments goes, oh, a half hour later, they had another fraud on. If you want to look at that one.
Who?
Not going to say names.
All right, fair enough. I didn't even get it. But
it's a fraud.
But honestly, man, like it was a shit decision, and it's just, I hope that nothing goes against Italy on the day, but I don't think they will. And before you rocked up, Mario, I said to Bruno, it's okay to be heartbroken and upset on the day if you don't win, but I won't be angry. As I just said, bro, this team didn't qualify for the World Cup. We were the shit stain of the world. They kicked us while we were dead on the floor. And here we are in the final, man. And that's all that matters to me.
We gotta enjoy this. We gotta enjoy the lead up. We gotta enjoy everything. But back to your point, I don't know how it is in America there, Mario, but in Australia, since Italy got that penalty against Australia in the round of 16 or round of 32, whatever it was, at the World Cup and knocked Australia out, you mentioned the word football, and that incident gets brought up. But there is not, and I'm not joking, but there is not that many Aussies who, we still are represented by the Queen, and there are not that many Australians who actually want England to win this and are preferring to go to Italy. And even one of the most well-known goalkeepers, Mark Schwarzer, came out and said, oh, I'm rooting for Italy. And it's like, well, you're the goalkeeper on the day when we got the penalty. So at the end of the day, it's, I don't know, is it an anti-jinx? We do this all the time when it comes to Inter. Are people just doing this because they don't want Italy to win? But look, we got to enjoy this lead up. We got to enjoy the hype. We got to enjoy, everything. And you know what? If the referee shouldn't matter on the day, because if we can get 2-3 goals into the back of the net, they can't go handing out penalties like that.
Yep.
Bro, score first against this England team. Good luck. Good luck coming back, man.
Look at the midfield. It's not even you can't even compete with these midfielders. Jorginho, Barella, and Verratti on the field.
Amazing.
Against Declan Rice, Mason Mount, and
who's the next Messi?
Yeah,
they're all the next Messi. They're all the next Messi. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. All right, man. That's going to be it from us at Inter Worldwide today. An hour and 8 minutes in. We covered a lot. If you're one of the 15 people still in this chat and YouTube, please make sure you like the video and leave a comment as well. Mario, good to see you, bro. We'll see you again soon.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Anytime.
Myself in here.
Anytime. Brother Bruno, always good to see your smiling face.
Always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure.
All right, guys, from all of us here at Inter Worldwide, Forza Inter, Forza Azzurri. Ciao, ragazzi.